looking for this?
You don't want to know what he's afraid
I'm not her, you know.
No, she
Maria
didn't.
told me about Sarah. And
No.
Dang.
Don't say another word.
I'm sorry about your daughter, Joel. But I've lost people too.
You have no idea what loss is.
Everybody I've cared for has either died or left me. Everybody except for you. So don't tell me that I'd be safe with somebody else, because the truth is, I was just being more scared.
Dang. Dang. Wow. The acting is so good. Wow.
You're right. You're not my daughter.
Change of... Oh, never mind. I was about to say change mine.
Your dad.
Ooh.
Now come dawn. We're going our separate
No.
ways.
No, you can't go. No. I don't like this. Yeah, I don't like this either. No, I don't like when the camera's ever turned, whenever the camera's on their back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It always makes... Oh, there he is. Dang, he would absolutely clock that dude.
There.
Ooh. Ooh, that was dirty.
Headbutt him. What a tank.
I love how...
Dang, dude.
Oh, wish he... No. No. Not Joel.
That can't be good.
Don't take it out. Don't take it out. No, don't do that. You're gonna cause yourself to gush blood. Joel, what are you doing?
Joel, get on the horse. Get on the horse.
Ellie, you have a gun. You can use gun.
Get out of there.
Bro, if that would have been me, I wouldn't have been able to clutch up. I'd have been trying so hard to get on the horse. I wouldn't have been able to do it. Welcome back to BoomShot. I'm Kel. This is Colby,
Yes,
and
sir.
episode 6 of The Last of Us has just dropped. Kin. It was Kin, you know,
Let's
because
go, dude.
well, you know, because Joel found his brother, Tommy.
Let's go.
Right, but
Beautiful.
yeah, we're gonna go ahead and jump right to this, starting now. Okay, so first of all, before we jump into what we thought about the episode, that was an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah, it was, dude.
It was
Man.
incredible.
Yeah, this is probably... I'd say it's probably my second favorite episode. Behind last week.
Dude, last week's episode's gonna be hard to beat.
It's going to be hard to beat.
Which I've been telling them. I'm been like, if season 1 continues as it's supposed to go, since I kind of know the general direction of the game, that the last episode is going to be his favorite, and I'll still stick by my guns. But yeah, this episode was incredible.
Yeah, and if you've been looking at the titles of our videos, it might be changing a little bit.
Yeah,
Because,
your boy just bought this show has convinced me to buy the game. So I have a PS5 and I'm playing the remastered version. So I've been needing something to play, and I'm looking forward to bashing people's skulls in. And you know,
so the title might change to only one of us hasn't played the game.
which I think adds an
played.
interesting twist, because
Yeah.
like then I know and he doesn't, so I'm like having to walk around which I'm already kind of doing in a way. But anyway, so what do you think about the episode?
Yeah, I loved it. I mean, we got to see Tommy again. It's been a long time coming. I mean, that's really what the whole... I guess before he found Ellie, the whole objective he had was to find Tommy.
Yeah, I mean, really, after he found Ellie, that was the whole objective. He was like, it was like over time they progressed into this relationship that we'll talk about in a minute. But basically, that was the whole reason that he went out to Wyoming.
Yeah, I think my biggest takeaway from this episode is just how good all of these actors are.
Dude.
This is some of the best acting I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, for real. Like we've been watching A-list, A-plus list actors for a long time, because you know Marvel, they can hire the best. But the acting along with the writing, like the execution, has been perfect.
Yeah, it's been perfect.
Magnifique, if I must say.
Okay, in the little town of Jackson, we talked about this when we were watching it together. I think it's just such a cool concept. They just keep bringing thing after thing that's like, okay, that's a really cool thing that they could throw into this world.
Yeah.
That makes it more interesting than just like, okay, apocalypse.
Yeah, like so you walk through the big cities, and that's what's cool to me. Like, the apocalypse has completely ravaged these giant, once bustling cities. Like, imagine New York City, what it looks like. Imagine, like, Boston, or we saw Boston. We've seen Kansas City. We've seen, I think now we've seen where Eastern Colorado is, that university.
Yeah.
Like, they're all abandoned, and you can tell. But then, like, you've got these little rural, I hate saying that word, rural areas that are, like, thriving.
Yeah.
Like, and especially, like, it was so cool to see that they have power. They have a movie theater. Like, they've got they talk about how they live in a commune, so they're sharing everything, which you know, we're not avid proponents of communism, you know, but
But in
this scenario, it makes sense. Like when you're that small, everybody's relying on each other to survive.
Yeah, you kind of have to.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just thought it was a really cool concept because the kids that are under 20, that's what they grew up in. And they haven't really been exposed to the outside world much, like what's gone on. So it's just really interesting.
That is crazy.
And I mean, not to say they've had a completely normal life because nothing comes as easily. Yeah. But it's still really interesting. And like they're watching movies, they have a Christmas tree up.
Yeah, like they're able to celebrate things like that. And I think that's so, all the adults live in kind of a universe where it's kind of like post 9/11 and pre 9/11. Like adults that live pre 9/11 always tell people who haven't lived in who have only lived in a post 9/11 era, like it used to be so much different, like walking through an airport and stuff like that. And it's kind of the same way, like these adults, like they know what it's like before and after, whereas the kids are just living in the post era, and they get to almost. They never knew any better. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's kind of cool because it's like they can be a lot more appreciative of what they have.
Yeah, that's true. And I think this is something Neil Druckmann said in the podcast, that in the game they didn't have like the budget or something. So they just were building a dam for this town, Jackson. And they didn't have the budget to actually like go in and render all the stuff inside Jackson. So they like in the show they actually were able to build a whole set for it. Yeah. When in the game back then they didn't have the budget to render it.
Dude, So
it's just really cool. I mean, this show deserves all the love it's getting.
Yeah, for sure.
And the game now too.
Yeah, the game
always has, but like even more love.
Yeah, the game adds. They both add to each other, and that's kind of what they said in the podcast before. Is like we want the game to add to the show, but we also want the show or the show to add to the game too. Yeah. Like in both ways, it's kind of like that relationship. But speaking of relationships, 12 out of 10 segue for your boy. We need to talk about Ellie and Joel and Sarah, because we're starting to see the parallel a lot. You know, obviously we see Joel at the beginning of the episode. He's having these like almost RDJ like panic attacks. Yeah. That was a good parallel. We're a Marvel channel here, so. We compared that to Iron Man 3, if you've ever seen that movie, where like Tony Stark is having these like panic attacks from like wondering when the next alien invasion is going to happen. And we see kind of Joel doing the same thing, but we don't know why at first. But then he explains it to Tommy in probably one of the best, the second best scene of the episode, I think. Yeah,
and any other episode, it would have been definitely. I mean, I would say it would be the best scene, but every episode's had like really good scenes. Yeah. But, I mean, that was just beautiful, and he was like crying, talking to Tommy, because before they kind of were like butting heads against each other. Yeah. Even though they'd finally met up.
Well, it's because Joel realized it, and he explained himself, but he wanted Tommy to take Ellie to the University of Eastern Colorado because he didn't feel like he was fit to do so. Yeah. But originally, Joel kind of made it seem like he wanted to tag team with Tommy and both of them go out there. Which, if that's the case, the show could just go ahead and end because they would get there safely. You ain't taking down Joel and Tommy, but but then he reveals his cards. He's like, "Look, I'm not fit to take her. Like I'm an old man. I can't do what I used to do. I've let her down every single step of the way." Yeah. And Tommy agrees to do it, which I was actually kind of shocked by.
I think it's just because. Really hadn't seen his big brother like that, so broken down, probably since Sarah. Mm-hmm. But I think it was just fear, really. It was fear of letting Ellie in, like, as an actual daughter. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the episode, we see, like, he finally does. I think that's kind of like the turning point, like, where he's like, okay, like, she's pretty much my daughter now. Yeah. She is my daughter. And so I think it was fear of, like, losing her and then fear of, like, being that close to somebody again. Yeah,
because, I mean, that's what you do. You know, there's a song by Andy Mineo. What's it called? Ghosts or something like that? Yeah, Ghosts. Where it talks like, the song talks about how, like, you wall yourself off from all interaction from other people because somebody hurt you in the past. And it's not necessarily that Sarah hurt Joel, but it's that he let her down in that moment by not being able to take the bullet for her. Yeah. And he doesn't want that to happen again with somebody, which obviously he'll never love Ellie like he loves Sarah, but especially because it hasn't been that long, but for him to even open up his heart, like, Ellie's got to be this person, like a very significant person in his life for that to happen.
And I think he's getting to the point where, like, he loves her just like he did Sarah as a daughter. Yeah. And so, and then, that scene, too, where he has the panic attack where he thinks he sees Sarah, and then he's imagining that person he thinks is Sarah's kid is his grandkid. Yeah. And he has another
like what it would have been if Sarah had never... Yeah, it's very interesting, and we said this, like, the acting has been phenomenal, but like the show, although very fictional, like this could happen, the cordyceps infection, but due to like biological factors, like it's impossible at the same time. But like the show tells real stories amidst a very fake reality. True. And I think that's what makes it so good. And it doesn't like sugarcoat the stories either. It doesn't gloss over. Like it gets deep and personal and helps you understand where each character's coming from, their own motivation, how nobody, like you said this about another show that we're currently watching, trying to be on the lookout for that. But, like nobody is the North Star really. Like everybody's got their own crap that they're going through.
Yeah, that's true.
And I really like that because it really adds the human element to it. Like nobody is perfect.
Yeah, and this is something I can't remember if it was Craig Mazin or Neil Druckmann that said it, but the don't. I feel like that's an iconic line. I don't know if it's in the game where he says "don't" to Ellie.
I don't know if he says. I don't think he says that in the game. I could be wrong, but that scene is almost beat for beat what's in the game.
One of them was saying that it's the same "don't" that he said to the guard or whoever it was that killed Sarah when he said "don't." Like he was just pleading, like, "Please don't." He was like, "Please don't bring up my daughter."
No, yeah, I immediately, that was one of the first things I commented on whenever we were watching it live. It was like she says, "I'm not her," and he's like, "Don't."
Yeah.
He's like, don't even go there. Like,
but they said he channeled that same like feeling that he was like pleading to that officer, like, please don't shoot.
Yeah. Golly, man. There have been so many sad moments in the show. It's like our heart just keeps on getting ripped out. Like, they beat us with a shovel, bury us with it, and then resurrect us and beat us again, dude. It's just...
And then we see our boy Tommy has a wife and a kid on the way, dude. That's pretty good news.
No, my bad. Sorry, that was the kid she lost. My bad. I got that mistaken because that was on the fireplace with Sarah. But yeah, we don't know the kid's name. But Tommy and Maria, that's cool. That's from the game as well.
Yeah, that's good to see.
Yeah,
it's just it's a testament to, and they said this the podcast. We've said it a million times. Yeah, listen to the podcast.
Definitely listen to the podcast. It just adds so much context to it.
That at the end where he gives Ellie the option, it's like, okay, I should give you a choice. Like, obviously, he's wanting her to choose him. He's like, okay, he's made his mind up when he's giving her a choice. Yeah, and recognizes
that she has no right to choose him. Like, after what happened that night before. Yeah. So.
And then, but he asked Tommy if he can borrow his gun.
Yeah.
And not take it, borrow it, because he wants to come back and have a life with Ellie. So that was something they point out in the podcast. I mean, the attention to detail, he could have said take or borrow. Take would be kind of natural there. Mm-hmm. But the attention to detail to make that word borrow.
Yeah.
Like he has an intention of coming back. And
every little word is mulled over. I like that because it does show intentionality behind. And that's the story of the show. And I think we've said in almost every episode that we've watched is that, like, I don't know if I've ever seen two writers, like two writers of a show care this much about maintaining, like, and adding significantly to the game, like in the best way possible, not taking away from it, not trying to change it, but just adding to it. Yeah, in a way that only benefits the game.
And something else they said, because I guess in the game is it third person, right? Mm-hmm. So you can't ever really see Joel's face that much when you're playing him. Nope. So, like, this show, they get to explore, like, the different emotions that Pedro is bringing to Joel's character. Yeah. And the same with Ellie. It's just awesome, man. I'm so glad the show is. I'm just glad it is.
I'm glad it exists. I remember being hype about this show when they announced it.
Yeah, you told me about it.
Yeah, which we didn't know if we were going to cover it at the time, but then after we watched episode 1, we were like, yeah, we're definitely going to continue to cover this because it's only gotten really better. There were some, like, I don't really think it's hit like much of a downslope in terms of like not really.
I just love stories like this that are very linear. And we're always involved in the story moving forward as the characters are. So it's just cool.
Yeah, and I think also the fact that it centers around, like, there's not really a B plot. Like, it's literally an A plot kind, like, most of the time. Yeah. It's only, like, Joel and Ellie, and they're able to, like, go to, like, for example, Henry and Sam, or they're able to explore, like, Bill's backstory or something like that. But mainly we're focused on Joel and Ellie, which next episode... Oh, yeah. We are about to get a big look and, like, flashback into Ellie's life, how she got infected.
Yeah, I love episodes like that. And a lot of shows have done stuff like that where it's like following like such a strong storyline to take a little 1 episode arc
to add a
follow
bunch
something.
of context,
Yeah.
and that's how it does it in the game. Like you get so far, and then like because whenever they first walk into it, like Joel doesn't trust Ellie, Ellie doesn't trust Joel.
Yeah.
Then like they have that experience in Pittsburgh in the game, but Kansas City in the show. And then like they begin to trust each other, and then after the whole Henry and Sam thing, like their relationship had to grow at that point because they're both faced with a grief they didn't think they'd ever feel again, and so now like their bond has finally grown close, and so they're starting to reveal their secrets that they've been keeping.
Yeah.
And we're about to see Ellie's side of that.
I think, okay, we've heard, this could be completely stupid. Like I said, I hadn't played the game. But we did hear she said she'd killed someone before. I think we'll see that in this next episode.
Yeah, we may.
I think we will.
I'm not gonna say anything. All I'm saying is this episode's gonna be good.
I'm hyped for it.
Yeah.
As always.
I'm hyped for everything this show that produces. It's gonna be so good. The show might be. I think I'm gonna go ahead and put my gavel down, slam the gavel. This is the show of the year for me.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything that beats it, unless Marvel just really pulls something out of their butts.
Well, yeah, I mean, we got a lot of good stuff coming up, but yeah, I mean, and the podcast too is just, it just adds so much to it. I mean,
It's hard to put into
this.
words. Like, it's just intentionality. They care about the context. They care about the game. They care about the show. They care about the actors. They care about the original actors, the voice actors.
Yeah.
Like they care about everybody, and they're trying to do their best to please everybody, which can also be a bad thing. But I think as long as you stick to the main line of the game and only add stuff that accentuates the game, that doesn't change it, I think that's a good. In my book, that goes down as seal of approval.
I have complete faith in these writers and showrunners at this point. I mean, I'm just excited. I'm
just excited, dude. We got 2 more episodes left, right? No, this was 7, 8. Oh, we have 3 more episodes left. I did confirm today it is 9 episodes. So, yeah, we're going to get Ellie's backstory. And then where we left off with Joel is he's injured.
Dude.
He's
we
injured.
We didn't talk about that much, but I just don't even know. Like, what, he looks like he's about to die. I don't know.
It looks like at least episode 8 is going to be devoted to an injured Joel, maybe.
Yeah, something's going to happen.
And then episode 9, do they make it to where they need to go, Salt Lake City at this point? Do they make it? Do they not make it? We'll have to see. Except I know. And I know what happens. So I'll probably finish the game by next week. So. We'll try to upload some gameplay. If that's something you're interested in, like we could put this in the background like while we're talking about it. I don't know. Just let us know. But anyway, let us know what you guys think. Thank you guys for watching. See you in the next one.